Thank you, Dean Popkin. And thank you, Mariana, for this opportunity. On behalf of my cohort in AUD, I want to thank the AUD faculty for their endless patience and generosity. I think I can speak for all of us when I say you're all collectively the best part of this program, and we've been so lucky to have your mentorship. And thank you to the AUD staff for their endless support, especially Alberto, for all of his extra time and energy this past year doing what looked like 3 jobs at once without breaking a sweat. I want to thank my family for being here and my sister for traveling all the way from Copenhagen. And I want to thank my exceptional partner, Ruthie, who as of 2 weeks ago, I can forever call my wife. Why not get married during finals, right? She doesn't know about the crushing debt yet. For those of us who've gone through this journey with partners, spouses, or families, it's inadvertently been an intense graduate experience for them as well, often comprised the less fun parts. Ruthie, thank you for always keeping our life together, getting me into UCLA to begin with, and supporting me all the way through it. And thank you for raising our beautiful daughter, who is also a dog. Maybe one day, if we're lucky, she'll walk across this stage as well. Okay. I feel very honored to have this opportunity to speak to all of you because I feel deeply invested in the spectrum of disciplines this school contains. As I look out over this large crowd of talent and potential, it makes me realize that I didn't spend enough time visiting your studios, exhibitions, and performances. It's all too easy for us to be consumed by our work and the rich worlds within our own departments. I did, however, have the opportunity to see our undergraduate speaker, Sarah Lusgarten's studio, this past week and work in the Broad Gallery, and she's an amazing artist, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say. Yeah. Final crits ended days ago, and I'm already being called an architect, which is funny for me to hear, given that I've identified as an artist for the better part of the last 15 years, and have only spent 3 of them learning architecture. My background is in art. I studied glass at Rhode Island School of Design, where I first learned and practiced the relationship between material, craft, and concept. It was a time that solidified for me the value of maintaining rigor and discipline within a material practice. Craft became integral to my ability to communicate ideas through material because it is the process for how something is brought into reality and the means through which specificity can be articulated by precision and attention to detail, even if that means leaving your fingerprints behind. I have always felt that craft is essentially a superpower, a kind of cheat code, if you will. Learn how to shape stone, pour metal, scribe a line, hatch a boundary, record sound, align bodies, block a movement, Boolean union, or insert a footnote. Learn how to will material, and you command the world. With practice and a healthy feedback loop of not leaving well enough alone, you can manifest objects out of thin air with potency, make them disappear, selectively reveal or position institutional and cultural critique. My life's long pursuit of broadening my literacy and material skills and techniques has been solely for the purpose of being able to materialize the necessary objects, images, and films to communicate my ideas and curiosity. This journey of collecting technique and experience has taken me on many twists and turns, and sometimes brought me to places that made me wonder if I was still on the right path, or if my orbit would ever return, which some of you may know as well. When I moved to LA 6 years ago, one of my first jobs was at a digital fabrication shop. I sought to learn machining and programming with the goal of eventually bringing it back into the context of an art classroom sometime down the road. One of the first projects I undertook was finishing these large topographic sculptures of imagined Martian landscapes machined out of foam. I spent 3 weeks with sanding every spire and crater with tiny toothbrush-sized sanding tools, using my hands to remove the hand of the machine. At some point, after tens of hours of sanding these sculptures, my whole body covered in foam dust, we were visited by the artist who came to check in on the progress, and that's when I first met Rafiq Anadol. I remember wondering to myself if this esteemed artist was aware of how much labor went into this work that would in the end be labeled digital art. Of course, he does know. He was extremely grateful for the work and pleased with how it was materializing. He was once in our shoes, when the only means to produce his ideas were to make them a reality using his own hands. This and my subsequent experiences using digital fabrication tools have pinpointed something that often goes misunderstood: the immense amount of labor and skill that goes into procuring our ideas, even with digital technology. Whether it's choreographing dance, designing and constructing a building, developing film, painting, or even building a pedestal, it's not just the amount of time it takes to make the thing, but the cumulative years spent learning techniques and perfecting craft in order to pull these abstract concepts from your mind and distill them into the material world when the time is right. We are in a context now where the tools at our disposal are increasingly designed to remove the friction between ideation and materialization, and the culture of making that we're stepping into prioritizes efficiency and predictability over the granular and arduous. What was once a palette of some 100 tools is being optimized down to a single button, making it easier for more people to create, but compromising agency along the way and erasing the process. I think what separates you all here in front of me from the rest of this very large community at UCLA is not just this beautiful little corner we have in campus, but the unique opportunity that we have to steer the cultural direction of our fields by making, thinking, and engaging craft while wielding tools with radical purpose and intention and judgment. Unlike some STEM fields that are more susceptible to the benefits of AI, we are poised to lean into the friction and allow material to push back, to appropriately misuse tools and develop new techniques, to indulge in process and discover the work within. We are capable of bringing things into this world that have never existed before, and that's a very powerful thing. Some people fear that the development of advanced technology is going to have a negative impact on human creativity, but I don't believe that's going to become true because of one thing: us. When I look out at this crowd, I feel more certain than ever that it is the artists, historians, designers, choreographers, composers, and architects like us who will be at the forefront of redefining what it means to be human, always keeping creativity and ingenuity one step ahead of the next large language model. 6 years ago, I had no idea that I was even interested in pursuing a master's in architecture. I certainly didn't think the next time I saw Rafiq would be on stage accepting my diploma while getting emotional about craft. If I was to try and distill the things I've learned from then and my time at UCLA, it'd be this: seek the friction. Trust and believe in your ideas and in yourself. Embrace the process. Be critical of the tools that you employ. Keep friends who are honest about your work very close. And most importantly, rest easy in your orbit. At some point, you might look up and find that you've made a complete circle, and everything you did along the way has brought you to this moment. Thank you. Congratulations.